Hey crafty friends, it's Diann with Bean Street Paper, and today we are going to assemble these super cute Mother's Day cards for maybe the mom that isn't into pink and bling and all that stuff. This is just a nice earth tone color card. I was making cards for my Etsy shop, and this is one of the ones that I am making. So I thought I'd share it with you. I will put all the dimensions down below so that you guys can remake this if you want to. And let's get started. I have a couple of things to talk about. I know that you may have watched my last video where I talked about how I was going to cut up my 6x6 paper pads, and I did cut up that one, and I did managed to make quite a few cards with it. If you're in the group, the Caffeine Fueled Crafters group, you'll notice that I posted a few cards that I made. So I am still working through that paper pad, and I've put it up for now because I'm kind of over it for a minute. I know I need to make Easter cards. I need to make Mother's Day cards. So I've kind of moved on to something else, but I will revisit it for sure. The other thing I wanted to talk about was Mod Podge. So we have been so conditioned to all these fancy glues and things like that. And don't get me wrong, I love my Barely Art glue. I absolutely love it. But when I moved my room into the house from my shed, I gave up a lot of space. And again, I have sworn, I guess, that I'm going to use what I've got. So one of the things that I had was 7 or 8 bottles of Mod Podge that have been floating around in my she shed because, oh, I'm going to do mixed media. Oh, yeah, let's do mixed media. I haven't. So I don't decoupage, so they're just kind of sitting there. So I decided, hey, I'm going to go get a big container and mix all these together. I had some glossy finish. I had some paper, the kind for paper. I had some satin finish. I said, well, they're all Mod Podge, so I'm just going to mix them all together. And I'm going to test them out on paper. It's made for paper, y'all. So I mixed them all together in a big mason jar, and I put some in a little dispenser bottle that I got from Amazon. Did you know that you can buy a gallon of Mod Podge, for under $30? And if you have Prime shipping, that's free. So I love, again, let me also say I love my Barely Art glue. However, an 11-ounce container refill is $20. So like I said, we've been conditioned that we need the fanciest glue and all the new things, and I'm done with that. I have to use what I've got now that I have a budget that I need to kind of stick to. So anyway, I mixed all these together, and I put them in a big jar, and I filled my little bottle, and I did a couple test cards, and guess what? It works just as good as the fancy glue. It's archival quality. It's acid-free. The only difference is it's a little thinner than the Barely Art or the Art Glitter or the Tombow or any of the other super fancy glues. So it was a little bit of a learning curve to learn how close to the edge of the paper I could go. But I think I have that figured out now. And you don't need a lot. The other thing is there's two things I will not use it for. One is putting sequins or embellishment rhinestones on my cards. Okay, so it didn't hold up real well for that. But paper to paper, fantastic. Fantastic. So I'm going to use Mod Podge for the paper to paper portion of my cards. You still have a few seconds to reposition on your page. You have a little bit of wiggle room. So there's that. I'm just going to stick these under my blocks here. So I won't use it for sequins on my cards. And the other thing I won't use it because it's kind of, like I said, thinner, is for small, intricate die cuts that, you know, you can't, it'll just kind of sploosh out the sides. So I may try a Tupperware with a sponge in it, and just kind of sponge it on the back and see if I can use it that way, or I'll just use my Barely Art for that. If I just use my Barely Art for the embellishments and the intricate die cuts, I probably will never run out. So there's that. So yeah, so that was my discovery of the week. I'm totally okay with it. I like saving money. I like having the best new things and all that, but I'm also cheap. So there are other things that I would rather spend my money on, like stamp sets and stuff from the new Stampin' Up catalog that's coming out in a few months, or at the end of this month actually. Or you know, stamp sets I find, die cuts for sure. So yeah, anyway. So right now, again, I've cut enough to make 4, I hate these little things, they drive me crazy, 4 of these cards for my Etsy shop. So I will have 4 of these, and then I'll move on to the next design. Now, I do still put all my stuff under the block and let it dry under there. So I have a question for y'all. When you all craft in your space, do you burn candles or like put a diffuser on or any of those things? I have a wax melt warmer in here, and my moods kind of change with the day, but right now I am melting lemon cookies. It is 38 degrees here. Oh, sorry, we're up to 41. It is 4 o'clock in the afternoon and we just hit 41 degrees. It sleeted here last night in North Carolina. I woke up and I was like, what is that noise? And it took me a minute to realize that's sleet. Like, it's sleeting outside. No snow this year, but we got plenty of sleet. It was gone when I woke up, but the dogs were like, yeah, we're not going outside, Mom. So there's that. They are not happy about the weather. I'm ready for summer, or at least spring, you know? Let me put these down one and so I said, does anybody else do this with the blocks? Put the pieces in the blocks so that they adhere. I don't know. Maybe I'm extra careful, I guess. I do have some larger, I found these in 4-ounce bottles, so that'll be nicer. They should be here tomorrow. I hope. So. I used a super old stamp set for this one called Just Because. It's probably not super, super old, but it's older. I got it at a sale. Somebody was selling it. And I cut it apart so that I can just use the flowers without the sentiments if I don't want to use that sentiment. Plus, I wanted to use like this flower with Happy Mother's Day instead of this one with Happy Mother's Day. So I just cut it apart. No biggie. I can always stamp them back together if I wanted to, you know. And then the paper is from Echo Park, and it is from a set called Plant Lady. Not my thing. So I'm trying to use up some of the papers that I have them, but like I don't know why I have them. That one I have because it came in one of those Echo Park boxes. And yeah, it was in there, so that's what we have. Okay, I will need some shims for these, I believe, so let me grab some cardstock scraps here. I think I'm probably gonna need it. Okay, so now let's move back to, I colored these with alcohol ink markers. Again, I'm not going to add a whole lot of shimmer and stuff like that, because maybe there's moms out there that aren't a fan, you know, they just like earth tones. And I mean, it's hard for me to believe that there's somebody that doesn't like pink and like sparkle and all that stuff, but I believe there is somewhere, you know? Okay. I am going to, again, I'll put the measurements for these down below. This is how I mass produce cards for my Etsy shop. I just cut all the pieces at once. I come up with a design, I cut all the pieces, and I rarely make more than 4 or 5 of the same card. So you're actually seeing, well, you didn't see the design portion of the process, but you're actually seeing the complete process. All right, now this one's going to go here, and what I want is I'm going to have to shim these up. I'll need 4 shims. I don't want no saggy. And I'll just use these for the other one. All right. So that ought to do it. So sorry for all the noise in the background. That's the dogs. They've decided they needed, it's time to get up and stretch. They're little and shake and make all the noise. They don't have to go outside because they're not going to go outside in the rain. I can promise you that. All right. All right, and again, it's going to go back under and just sit for a bit. All right. So what are you guys working on? Tell me, are we still making Easter cards? I gotta tell you, I felt like making Halloween cards today. I think because it's a little bit cold out. So far I've managed to not do it, but I think it's gonna happen. I started a new schedule at work, so I don't have to go to bed quite so early. And I think, Halloween cards might happen tonight. It's got to be the weather. It's a bit brisk for me. I haven't been outside all day. I looked at the temperature and I was like, oh, no thank you. No thank you. That's not happening. Y'all, I started to second guess myself about these, thinking they were a little dark, but I don't hate them. I don't hate them. Okay. And I'm sure you can hear my chickens outside the window. All right, so I'm going to let those sit for a minute while I look through my big box of embellishments and see what I want to put. I think probably not that. Maybe I won't put anything. Maybe I'll put I just said I wasn't going to put a whole bunch of rhinestones and stuff on here because maybe some moms don't like all the glam and glitter. And here I am looking for embellishments, but I don't. These I think are too light. I wish I had some dark green ones, but I don't. All right, friends. Well, while I look for embellishments, I'm not finding any in that I want to use because I don't really want it to be sparkly. There's our card. I will put the dimensions in the box below. And without further ado, that's it for today. Please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. That's how we stay relevant in the algorithm and can bring you new content. And I hope you all go forth and have a super crafty day. Bye for now.